Every year, a few indie games come out that remind us why we fell in love with gaming in the first place. They don't have billion-dollar budgets, Hollywood actors, or even marketing campaigns bigger than the game itself, but somehow they deliver experiences that hit harder, run better, and feel more honest than a lot of what AAA studios are putting out today. So today, we're looking at 5 indie games that don't just compete with AAA, they surpass it in creativity, in design, and in pure fun. We're starting with something light because sometimes the best reminder of how far indies have come is a game that doesn't need to prove anything at all. Little Kitty Big City is a small open world adventure where you play as a cat, but the important thing isn't the premise, it's the polish. This game delivers something that most AAA studios struggle with, and that is a world that is inviting, warm, and genuinely alive. It's not because it's packed with content, but because every small space feels handcrafted. You can explore, climb, accept mini missions from animals, and cause trouble in the most non-violent, cozy way possible. And the game's not a buggy mess either. And here's the thing that AAA rarely gets right. This game has personality in every animation, from the little tail flicks and the sloppy jumps. It's the kind of detail that you get when a small team actually cares about every frame, when they put in the time to make their game as accurate and great as possible. It's not trying to be the next massive open world blockbuster, it's just trying to be fun and delightful, and it succeeds with that. Most AAA narrative games feel the same today, with expensive cutscenes, predictable arcs, and open worlds filled with icons. Rosewater ignores all of that. This is a Western adventure made by a tiny studio that focuses on one thing that AAA games have forgotten how to do, and that's storytelling without noise. Rosewater's hand-painted art gives it a personality that no Unreal Engine preset can copy. Its characters feel grounded, its dialogue feels human, and the pacing respects your time. Something AAA still struggle with today. You're not drowning in tutorials or grinding XP to unlock basic attacks and abilities. Instead, you get a cleverly written story that pulls you in with subtle world building and actual charm. And by the way, this game scored in the 80s on Metacritic. That's better than a lot of major releases this year. And that's without needing 300 developers and a $200 million budget. Rosewater proves that strong writing and style can outshine spectacle. This one is one of the most ambitious indies of 2025, and it comes from one single developer, one person. I got addicted to this game for so long, and playing this with my son was just fun to do. Schedule 1 is a bizarre mix of GTA, Factorio, and Tycoon management, but it's also an open world simulation, and somehow it works. You build an empire, you gather resources, you automate productions, you manage relationships, territory, risk, and all in a sandbox that's far deeper than most AAA open world games released this year have been. It might not be a massive game world, but it's full of loads of things to do and it's really fun to play. And just think about that for a second. A single person created a more complex simulation system than entire studios with hundreds of staff. That's the real difference between indie and AAA in 2025. AAA keeps chasing scale. Indies chase ideas. You'll find AAA studios will quite often do a copy-paste formula, and they never really try new things. Indie studios are the ones that are innovating today, that's making gaming progress and get better over time. Schedule 1 is messy, wild, and unapologetically weird, but it's also creative in a way that mainstream games haven't been for a long time. And it is really fun to play. If you thought the Balactro effect was over, think again. Nubby's Number Factory is a $5 roguelite that hit tens of thousands of positive reviews in record time. It looks simple, intentionally retro, Windows XP era style sort of simple, but the game loop is sharp. You pick numbers, generate combos, build synergies, and you push each run a little bit further. It's fast, it's clever, and it's dangerously addictive. It's such a simple game to look at, but there's just something addicting about it. And this is what I'm talking about when I say Balactro effect, because there's something so simple about that game, and yet the gameplay loop was so addictive that it just kept you coming back for more. And this is the part that AAA should be embarrassed about. A tiny indie game built by new developers offers more replay value than many of the $70 AAA releases this year. There's no battle passes, no currencies, no fear of missing out crap. It's just gameplay that's really tight, and you just forget time exists when you're playing it. There's something satisfying about the way the gameplay plays as well, by the way. Just give it a go. It's a really fun game. It's definitely something you would enjoy playing, and you won't even know why. Nubby's Number Factory proves that if the core loop is good, you don't need anything else. This is the indie game from 2025 that everyone's talking about. The one that feels like it came out of nowhere and redefined what puzzle games can be like. Blueprints is an immersive puzzle adventure set inside a shifting, almost surreal manor. Every room can connect to another in impossible ways, and the layout changes based on how you solve each puzzle. The name of the game itself is a play on words. Blueprints, or blueprints, because you get room blueprints that you can place down in the actual manor in order to decide which way you can go. You connect these rooms and doorways together as you travel through in order to keep your resources and steps down as low as possible so that you can unlock new things and move on to new areas. But it's a roguelite, so when you finish the game and you finish that day, you restart a new day, and some things can follow over to new days, but most of it doesn't. Anything you do outside of the manor is completely separate from the inside and doesn't reset, which means you can unlock new spaces, new areas and new story stuff outside of the manor once you've found things inside in order to do that. The game's part exploration, part deduction and part fever dream. The atmosphere is thick with mystery, the visuals are crisp and memorable, and the design is brilliantly confident. The kind of confidence you only get when a small team chases a bold idea instead of a safe one. This is exactly what AAA rarely dares to do anymore, and that's take risks. Think about it, when was the last time you played a AAA game that took a risk on a new idea or a new feature? Then think of studios that made games like Call of Duty, Far Cry or FIFA that just do the same thing year after year, just copy and pasting the previous stuff and just adding new things into it. This game has no open world farms, no crafting systems, no endless tutorials. It's just a smart focused concept executed with precision. They give you a basic tutorial at the start that shows you generally what you need to do, then they say go for it, good luck, and they leave you to it. Blueprints isn't just good for an indie game, it's one of the most inventive games of 2025 period. I picked up the game when it came out thinking, oh, this seems like it might be okay, immediately got addicted and played it for about 3 days straight before I put it down. And admittedly, I never actually fully completed the game because it got way too much remembering stuff that I did kind of end up just saying, you know what, I'm going to put this down for a while. But it is a game that I can definitely go back to because there's a lot more to the story and a lot more features once you get into the game that unlock as you go through it. Indie games used to be the underdogs, but in 2025, they're the ones pushing the medium forward. While AAA games struggle with budgets, deadlines and live service expectations, indies are delivering pure creativity and often pure fun. And indie studio games are not the ones getting closed down. It's the AAA ones. And those were 5 indie titles doing things AAA simply can't do right now. Let me know which one grabbed your attention, and if you want a part 2, I've got plenty more that deserve the spotlight as well. Also, check out this video up here, Games Look Better But Play Worse, but what actually changed 2015 to 2025, where I talk about the differences in games and gameplay over the last 10 years, so you can see exactly how they've changed and how they're going downhill, which very much relates to this video.